combat discussion. As always, we're gonna have our weekly Atlas quiz before the Atlas Brew. Just a reminder on the rules. The questions will be said in the voice chat. At the same time, they will be posted in the Atlas Brew text channel. From there, they'll be said, and you post the answer to the question, whatever it is. For each question you get correct, you get 1 point. There's 5 questions. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 5 questions will get a Fimble Air Bike. From there, I'll let you guys take control of that. And good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Okay, let's go. First question. How many weapon headpoints does the Pierce X4 have? Good, Sheldon. Very good.
Nice.
All right, Sheldon, let's go. Taking one home. 8.
It could be 8 if you had 2 Pierce.
No.
Nude.
Up to it.
Hey
Nope,
guys.
nope.
How are you feeling, Squall? I saw that you were sick, man.
A little better. A little better.
Awesome. Glad
Let's
to hear.
go. Second question. How many ships earn less than on Atlas daily while at screen?
Ooh, nice.
I have no idea.
For me here, it's tag All-Star, but I don't know.
It's
The
4?
order's kinda...
It's 4?
Yes, it's 4. It's 4.
Okay. So Sheldon has 1 point. Altstar has 1 point. Cool. All right. Question number 3, yeah?
Okay, let's go. Question number 3. Which is the topic that Star Atlas team is wanting feedback from the community? Good, Benny.
Benny!
Oh,
Great.
Oh my
Hey.
god, Benny has a shot. Feedback is all with you, right, Benny? You are keen on feedback answers.
I'll take
He's a
advantage of this and
machine.
say if anyone does want to have a one-on-one with the Star Atlas team on giving marketplace feedback, there is an announcement that I will post the link to right now if you guys are interested. Anyways, yeah, you guys can keep going. Sorry about that.
Go with 4. How many polys will be distributed in the next daily rewards drop? What? How, Buck? How?
Dang.
No. He's wrong. Sheldon
he's
got
going.
it.
Oh, Sheldon got. Dude, I thought he got it for a second.
He wrote full of confidence, right?
No.
He was
All
so
right.
fast. He was so fast that I think I was wrong, man. I had to double check now.
Alright. Well, Sheldon has 2. Benny has 1. Who else had 1?
Outstar has
Benny.
1 too.
Benny.
Oh, Altstar has 1. Okay, yeah. There we go.
Let's
All right.
go last and the best question. Because it's about lore.
Yeah, you have 3 in my heart, Benny.
What's the name of the ore which can only be found on Jerry?
That's easy.
Come
Oh
on,
my
guys.
god.
You make our dear friend Zest cry, man.
Yeah, you will.
Go to the last Medium article.
Iron War.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Liegt mal und sag on dies oder was? Come on.
What some goes? Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh, Dominic, man.
This might be a skipperooski. I don't think anyone has it.
Where's the skip ever in the brew quiz? This is sad.
No, we cannot allow that.
So
If
Come on.
I post it, do I get
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get a
you
point.
get the
buddy. We
point.
posted it.
then.
It's
Wait, are
Ah, he was faster, he was faster.
man.
All-Star got it?
God.
Okay. Alright, well that means All-Star and Childen are tied.
I have no other question, man.
They'll both get an air bike, it's okay.
Two lucky winners.
Nice.
Man.
Benny, fourth place.
Top 4, Benny. Good job, man.
Thanks, Squall. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, yeah, rigged as always, Benny. Yep.
Bring
Agreed.
this always. My gosh. We love you too, Benny. Just love. I love it.
Benny was one of my first friends in Star Atlas.
Was.
Yeah, man. Now he doesn't care more about the lore and the Nude Star, man. He still owes me that Titanship.
Oh wow. Okay, guys, I feel like we can get started in today's brew. Congrats to the winners. Who were them again? Alstar and Sheldon? Yeah, Alstar and Sheldon. Congrats for the airbike, guys. So let's get started. We're going to speak about Scrim Combat. As you know, guys, what we do here is basically we take notes from what is said. These questions were sent by the Stratless team, especially by Chip, to be more specific. So we will speak about these topics, collect notes from you guys, and then send everything to the Scream team. And let me check. Dom, do you have the latest notes close to you so we can share here in the brew chat?
Yeah, I'll share them right now.
Cool. That's we'll share right now what we got from the previous brew. Let's check before we start. Let's check if everybody agrees that we got the main idea to share with the team from the last brew before we start on this one. So
Yeah.
Dom just shared the link in the chat. So please, guys, go take a look right now and let us know if we missed anything or whatever. But that should get the main idea of the topics discussed in the previous one. So yeah, we talked about how should three-way battles work. The question was in a battle, should it be possible to attack a person who just got out of battle? Should there be a cooldown? and the community clearly didn't want the cooldown. They thought it removes the excitement of the battle, and that users should plan to defend after they have a battle. So makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it should be dangerous, right? If you
Yeah,
get immunity when you left a battle, people would just exploit this.
exactly. So that's one thing. Then we brainstorm also on what will happen if there's a battle and there's three that there are three different the three different factions are involved in it. How should it work? Should you join the attack? Should you join the defense? Or should you be able to join both? And committee said clearly both. Join whichever you want. So that's interesting. That's very interesting as well. Then we also brainstorm about the formula for LP earnings, LP loyalty points, in Scream earnings. And the main idea was based on damage dealt and damage received, but the feedback we got is there should be other rewards, LP rewards based on other activities that people may do that are also super important as well. So how can we reward things like medic task, like holding a position, repairing, and how to not abuse that as well. So you don't want to have only damage dealt and damage received because it could be easy to abuse that system. So that's all the feedback we got from community, and I think it's pretty awesome. Again, if you just arrived, we shared the link in the brew chat. You can go and take a look, so you have pretty much the context on what we're speaking about. But in the previous brew, we spoke about different topics in Scream Combat. So what we're doing is taking notes from it, from the conversation, and sending to the team. And then the other one, there was a discussion proposed by Dark Signal. There was a live proposal on should if the screen players should be gifted LP for them to tip to others, and there was a clear no from the community because it would be too abusable, and that everything should be integrated in the game mechanics. So in the smart contracts, no tipping, no extra LP for you to reward other behaviors or anything like that because yeah, committee felt it could be easily abusable. So that's another thing we spoke about. So if there are no questions or comments on the previous one, I think we are good to move to the topics for today. But as always, I'm here with Jose. Jose, how are you, sir? You're muted in case you don't know, or you're not here. So Jose is the first time ever that I don't get a replay from Jose. This is sad.
Sorry, guys. My sorry. My wife was at the door. I had to open for her.
Oh no,
Very
no. First
sorry.
things first, bro. First things first. It's all
Yeah,
good.
sorry. Sorry,
We want
man.
you to stay alive. So
Yeah, man. Really sorry, Sant. It's a pleasure to be here with you again.
of course, man. And we also have Dom today, as always, our professional note taker for the community. Dom, sir, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Excited for today.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I like this topic. So I think last week it probably was. We kind of talked about it already, but I think last week was the best Atlas Brew we've had. I think there was a lot of
Mhm.
good discussion going on, and I'm just really excited, man. It's gonna be great. Today's
I
gonna be good.
think the same. I think the feedback from the last brew was that it was an awesome conversation. So we had a few topics we didn't manage to reach in the previous conversation. So that's what we want to do today. You can see the topics in the announcement, but let me copy and paste real quick here. But these are the two main topics. Of course, the conversation can go to other places as well, but the two main topics are this, and that's what we're going to try to brainstorm about today. Just a few, I just posted them in the brew chat. A few disclaimer. One disclaimer, I would say. Uh, since this is I hope this is going to be an interesting conversation. Everybody will have something to say. So please be respectful of everyone's time, and you will, if you have that in mind, and if you overextend in the time you have, you will get interrupted by the conversation moderator, me, Jose, Tom, anyone. So please be respectful of that as well. We don't want to reach the point where we need to mute anybody, but we want this conversation to flow well and everybody to have time to speak and share their opinions, because this this is going to be shared to the team. So probably everyone wants to brainstorm about the things we're going to speak about. So please be respectful of everyone's time. And if we interrupt you, please be respectful of that as well. We are not doing that because we are bad guys, but because we want to keep the conversation going. So all that said, I think we are good to start with the topics.
Yeah, man.
So we have the first topic for today is how should loot be distributed after a large battle? That's interesting because it doesn't work like Fortnite where you can just look at the floor and grab the stuff, you know? It's going to be super different than that. So just say I love to throw you under the bus, man. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, man, but I'll tell you that's something that I have been thinking about. And I
Awesome.
feel that I personally am kind of guy that wants the game to be as hardcore as possible, you know? And we of course we have different ships specializations that focus on different aspects. And we have a very specific class of ships, the salvage ships, that are focused on acquiring loot, disassembling stuff, and working on this front. So how I feel this should work is that when the battle is done, the loot, the scraps of metal and resources will be all over the place. And the
Uh-huh.
ships feels that and the space will be like everything will be open for loot. And every ship will have a standard rate which he can acquire the loot from space. And the salvage ships will be better at it. And I feel that there will be lots of people going to battles just to be rats of loot, you know? People that go to the battle just to gather the corpses after the battle. The problem here is that if one of the factions focuses so much about this, they'll be wrecked by the other, you know? So this brings another layer of strategy and equilibrium in the game because you want to have a strong enough fleet to win the battle, but you also want to have some ships in your fleet that are good in gathering the scraps and the results of the battle, you know? So you can profit from it. I feel this is a cool thing that we have, and I want to see it hard to get the loot. To you know, because we can't make it easy. We need this to be challenging. We need to be like people are there getting loot, thinking that everything is okay, and the guys who lost the battle call their friends and they get to the scene and gank on the ships that are there looting. You know, I want to see this kind of thing. I want to see strategic gameplay, and I feel that yeah, loot should be a battle for life. You know, try to get everything you
Okay.
can with your ships.
So you're saying that you think loot should be distributed based on the type of ship, like if you have
Yeah,
a ship that is more effective on that, you probably
you
get a higher percentage of the loot.
yeah, because the ship will be working to get more resources for you, and he's more efficient on it. You know.
Hmm. What are the thoughts? Anybody from the community? Always the first comments are uh, everybody's shy. But if you have any comments, guys, please feel free to unmute and join the conversation. Uh,
Hello, hello.
yeah, we
Hello,
hear you.
Santi. How are you today?
Good, man. How about
Hey,
you?
Lucius.
Always good to have you here, sir.
Doing good. Been busy lately, so it's all good. I was wondering, when it comes to what you guys mentioned, and hello, Jose, as well, and everybody here. When it comes to the loot that you guys were mentioning, what kind of, I think one important thing would be, what it would be, what kind of mechanic do you see being implemented for us to be able, like I say, I shoot you out of the sky, Santi, is our parts going to be floating around? The wreck is going to be a wreckage? Is it going to be something that is going to be immediately, thrown into my ship, into the cargo bay? What kind of interaction we will have when it comes to the wreckage itself? Because that will determine obviously the availability, but also if someone has a bigger fleet, um, that's not a guarantee on you being able to get in the loot, because someone with smaller ships might be able to sneak in and get that out of your hands. So I think that's very important to determine as well.
So I wish I had the exact answer, and most of these things are also being defined as well. So it's important to have this conversation. Uh, but I guess I see it more in a matter of like percentages that go for each person that was involved in the battle. I see it like that, like in my mind. This doesn't mean, again, like right now we are just community members, me and Jose and Dominic. We are community members. We don't have access to this info, so we're just theory crafting together with you. But I see it like as, in my mind, I see it as a percentage, like the 100% of the loot, and you get a, depending from, for example, on what Jose said, if you have like the biggest ship and more optimized for salvage and more space for resources, you probably get more or stuff like that, like a bigger percentage. That's how I see it. I'm not sure how it will work. Maybe
Yeah.
Jose, do you have any extra details? I don't know.
No, yeah, I think this. I also don't have any details, and I feel the appeal that some people might get on. Yeah, if I did more damage, I get more loot, you know. But if you think about how it would work in a space game, in closer to reality, is that there will be the Rex, just as Lucius was speaking out, and you need to bring them inside your ship. So you'd need to stop and start doing the activity of salvaging the loot and the things inside your ship. And a bigger ship will have bigger, I don't know, it's actually one of our components in game. If you check, let's open the marketplace so I name it properly now. We have, just a second, guys. I'll get the ship that I'm looking for right now. Yeah, the Priest D9. He's a salvage ship. And he has the tractor beam operator crew member, and of course, it means we have a tractor beam, and it's a capital slot tractor beam. So this bad boy, he'll be pushing lots of loot from space for your ship, you know? And this is the next specialization. This needs to be defended, it needs to have utility, it needs to be prioritized in this gameplay loop of extracting loot. Because the way I see it, when you are extracting loot, it's basically you are there in space, and your ship is working through the debris, it's working through the wreckage of other ships and things like that. And it's even on a more, I would say it's not ready for combat, you know? This is like one of the gameplay loops of one of our game specializations. And you are open to be attacked, you know? I don't want loot, for example, to be instantaneously, you know, like you loot instantaneously, you get the things, you go home. Like most of MMOs where you just click and it magically appear in our inventory. No, I think that you need to take the risk and be there, just pulling the things inside your ship and risking being attacked by another guy that's coming to salvage back the loot that they dropped or something like that, you know? I think this makes it more exciting. I think it's, yeah, you got to defend the looting ships that are looting, you know? I think this is like a very, it's more entertaining this way and adds risk to the operation. It makes the whole thing more strategic and more fun overall. But that's my two Atlas.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Lucius, I know you wanted to speak. Do you have any comments after we tried to clear this?
No,
Or
no,
should
all good. It makes sense. Obviously, if you have something that's more optimized to be able to procure, everything that's left after such clash, or the person that has a ship that's optimized should have, some degree of advantage. Also, I was thinking that the first iterations of this interaction can also be tied to some kind of reputation that you might be get, a percentage of reputation that you might be able to use for parts, say at a station associated to your faction. That also might be a solution that might be more, uh, directly tied to whoever does the most damage gets the most reputation. So I don't know, but it's a good conversation. Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else has any comments? Dom, maybe?
I would say like so the amount of loot, like how I imagine it in Scream is a big war happens, and depending on the size of the ships in that battle, that would equate to the size and the amount of loot after the battle. So I would say like Jose was saying, there shouldn't be like any instantaneous loot, or if there is like instantaneous loot that you get, like maybe on the smaller side, just kind of like you won the battle, you get a little bit of loot. But after the battle, I would say like depending on the size of the battle, there should be like a small area that I would say any ship can loot from and take loot from it, but depending on what the ship spec is, like if you have a ship that it specializes in taking loot, they should be able to gather that loot at a faster rate. But like an X4 could still gather some of it, but each ship would have a different pace at gathering that loot from that specific spot. So that's how I envision it happening.
That's very interesting. Like a pool where depending on what type of ship you have, it varies the speed and the amount of loot you can get.
Exactly, yeah. So it would also
That's
like
interesting.
so like gathering that loot depending on what ship you have, it would take time and you would have to stay still gathering that loot, so you'd be vulnerable to attacks. And I think
Yeah.
that idea just makes the most sense to me anyway. So I'm interested to hear other thoughts on that as well.
I think
Yeah,
that's
man,
a
it,
very
it,
cool
it
idea.
needs to be dangerous, Santi. Otherwise, people would just focus on having salvaging ships and going after the big battles and staying there. When people finish the combat, they go and rat the loot away. And I feel that it shouldn't be so simple, and people should be fighting for their loot, but getting incentives for the salvage ships as well. They need to be useful on their specialization.
Cool. Yeah, I love that idea. Like on the loot working, kind of like a pool. I like that. I like that. I would like to have a poll in the chat, but I don't know how to structure that. So I will just put poll, Dom's idea. Yes, no. So if you heard Dom's idea, vote for yes or vote for no. I just posted the poll in the chat. If you don't know what the hell we're talking about because you didn't understand it, you can react with the question mark, and we will go through it again. But Dom, do you want to speak about it again, just in case?
Yeah, sure.
I see some
So
question marks.
the idea is basically, so depending on the size of the battle and the size of the ships inside of the battle, that would directly correlate to the amount of loot that you can gather from after the fact. So like if you win a battle, I think you should get some sort of like minor loot, maybe like 10% of the pile or something like that. But the other 90% of the pile, depending on the size of the battle, like I said, would be like maybe like a circle that everyone could take from. But if you're taking from it, you're at a standstill. You're gathering loot, and depending on what ship you're using to gather that loot, depends on the quickness of you gathering it. So like a Pierce X4, for example, would gather it at a very, very slow pace, but a salvage ship would gather it at a very, very high pace. So it would subtract the time that it takes to actually salvage that, which would also subtract the time
Yeah.
that you would be vulnerable for.
And if
So
you
that's
have a big salvage ship, you will gather loot at a fast pace, and you can gather a lot of loot. So it will also benefit like the salvage gameplay. I think
I
there
think.
was, yeah, go
Sorry,
for it.
Santi.
Sorry. No, please
Yeah,
go for it, man.
yeah. Just going to link this conversation with the one that we had on the last brew. And maybe here we are getting somewhere where we can connect the question about how the different ships specializations would get LP points or be rewarded in screen, you know? So for example, here, if let us say, the combat ships, they are getting some reward for every battle because they are getting LP points from defending their star system, they are getting LP points from attacking a different faction member, so they are being rewarded by this. And the savage ships, they, of course, they can help in the battle, but their reward from this will be smaller because they will be contributing less to the battle outcome, but they will be getting more rewards from the loot system because, as we were just discussing, there will be the debris and the wreckage of the ships, and they will be able to gather more resources from the loot pool, let us say, of the combat, you know? So maybe here we find some sort of equilibrium. It's a dynamic equilibrium, and I think it's very hard to have, uh, I don't know, measurement of how to make those two equal. But I feel that maybe here we can have this sort of extra reward for the ships that won't be able to make so much rewards from the LP system. Other, uh, without we needing to add a specific LP for every single specialization. You know, it's an alternative. I'm not saying it's better, but maybe it's a food for thought for us to get to experiment on about how the rewards for different activities outside of the combat and damage dealing system works on LP. You know?
Hmm. I like that as well. I like that as well. Any thoughts from community? Guys, as always, the mics are open. Just feel free to join the conversation. Everybody's shy today, Jose.
Yeah, man. They are chatting, but and
Are we?
yeah,
I want to ask if we are going too hard on the theory crafting, or is it everybody's able to follow what we're saying? Again, this conversation is for everyone to understand and engage in. So if you feel like we should go back a little bit, please let me know in the chat. But if you're following it, that's
I think everyone just agrees and thinks I'm a genius. Thanks,
Dom.
guys.
I think like
Pretty
yeah,
much. That's all it is.
Dom. I think we should vote you as president once the police DAO is up, man.
I
yeah,
have a
man.
lot of
I have a
candidates, but I
question.
think it would require a paper at this point to the amount of things.
Oh, let's go, Bomber.
Let's go, Bomber.
Okay,
Let's go.
Bomber, go.
Oh, you want me to do it right now? I was just gonna, write a summation later, but
Yeah, man. We are here for this, man.
Yeah.
I think for one, if there's any party game that I've ever played in a role playing game format, there is some sort of drop and party system that's enabled by the leader of the party. So whether that be at a DAO level, leader level, I don't know, but I think having options for specific gameplay would be certainly beneficial.
Yeah.
You mean like, sorry, Bomber, I don't think I followed. Like the loot system should work on maybe
So
party.
maybe I came out a bit jumbled, but what I'm saying is I think there should be multiple formats for the loot system, and when I say that, it means when you form a party, a group, a fleet, however you want to call it in this game, there should be a setting that enables free drops, so everyone in the entire party has equal access. Role
Like World of Warcraft,
or
right?
similar, yeah, but World of Warcraft's a great example. There's many games that have that, but I think that'd be beneficial just because if I think everyone is playing the game to have fun, but also make a couple bucks, right? I don't want that aspect of the game becomes essentially a, a breeding ground for fighting, like infighting, right? Of how loot's distributed or how much time is spent looting as opposed to just playing the game. So, in certain scenarios when you're cruising along with a big group, having some sort of format that can be enabled by the group leader and then accepted by everyone, I think would streamline processes instead of, after every fight, everyone's scrambling to be the first person to loot or the like.
Yeah, I get this, and yeah, I think it's hard in terms of screen because the example for World of Warcraft, for example, it's mainly focused on very defined groups, right? Like for example, a guild setup or a party setup, and this allows for the players that already have some connection between them to establish how the loot will be distributed among them. In Screen, I foresee that we'll have more like, of course, we'll have guild coordinated fights and things like that, but maybe we'll have more like 200 different players from one side invading a system and 200 from the other side defending it. And there will be many skirmish points if we can think of it that way. And I don't know how the coordination of a party system would work. I feel that the loot system here could be something that's a gameplay loop on its own, in the matter of like the battle is over, people get some. I Dom had this idea of getting some instant reward. I'm not sure if I think this is the best moment, but most of the loot is flying over space. And if you want to loot the loot of the battle, I guess you would need to stop and spend some time doing it, which
Exactly.
also would leave you vulnerable, you know?
And not just that, it's just the way I'm thinking about it, as someone mentioned, I think it was DPS done to the ship is how much you loot. It's really disincentivizing players to do anything but fight.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a pirate. But if you wanted to be a support player or a rescue player or whatnot, it would certainly disincentivize you to go that route if you were going to get such a small cut of the profit. Which is why I was leaning towards more of the group play, where it could be fleshed out that way. But I once again, I might have misspoke because I was referring to the full game, not UE5, not necessarily Scream. So I certainly understand it will be a different format for both. So
Yeah, I like this line of thought because, for example, repair ship, it will also helps with the battle, but it won't provide as much DPS as a fighter. And I think that if we have a gameplay of looting, like to stop and go salvaging, every ship would be uh, everyone will have the same opportunity of gathering loot, and the ship that's most specialized will have a benefit, but the others would have equal opportunity of looting stuff. So that's
I
why
think that's a bit odd. It's going to be a feeding frenzy on a dead carcass with 700.
yeah, like a piranha in the Amazon River, when
Yeah,
you throw.
that's a bit strange.
Yeah, but it's yeah, I don't know because I try to imagine how the big battles be in, for example, in space if we were to imagine how this work, and I feel that it wouldn't be something very ordeal if we had this on real life, like how loots work in wars and things like that. It's kind of chaotic by essence.
Yeah, I think if it was a real life scenario, I mean, give or take, we are playing a video game here, but it would just be the salvage ship, right? You wouldn't send a fighter to go salvage. It's highest and
Yeah.
best use case, right?
Yeah, things for us to brainstorm about.
Yeah.
Well, that
Lenny
kind
was
of brings up.
typing in. Oh yeah, no, go for it. Not sure who was.
Oh, sorry.
Alstar?
This is
Yeah.
all. Sorry. Yeah, I was just curious if the loot was going to be infinite, like it was just going to stay around in space, or if it was going to be set to expire. Because that also kind of changes the dynamic of, do we want to get this loot quickly, or do we want to kind of stabilize the system that we're in and then loot afterwards after all the enemies are gone?
That's a great question. I think
Yeah.
it should spread, over time. If no one's loot for half an hour, it's gone, burn, GG. to
You
press
think so?
people to do things. Yeah, I think so.
Why
I
burn
think,
it? It should float in space forever until someone
yeah,
finds it. An object
yeah,
in motion stays in
yeah,
motion.
but it gets spread over space, so you find uh 100 pieces of fuel somewhere, while flying. What the hell, I feel this would be like the best thing. It starts
Yeah,
drifting away.
yeah. Shouldn't expire, but should start going away, floating on space, so you actually need
Yeah,
to coordinate quickly once you have the loot.
yeah, and maybe it gets dragged to a sun or something and it's destroyed. I feel that this is also something that we didn't talk about. Like, for example, uh, the battle is over. Of course, the loot that every ship is carrying is dropped, but should a reward be given on part of the fees that gets to repair the ship that got destroyed? I feel this is also a good incentive for people to battle. So, for example, I have my Calico Guardian. I lost the battle. I dropped everything that I was carrying, and if I want to repair my Calico Guardian back into the game, it would cost, I don't know, 100 Atlas. Maybe part of this cost is given as loot dropped inside the battle site. I think this is something that would be entertaining as well.
I'm not sure how the repairing is going to work, but maybe you need to use resources for repairing, and you get those resources from the loot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we lose the battle, your ship will be dragged back from the rescue teams of the factions to your space station, to the initial place. And there it will be repairing for a time frame, right? Or maybe you can pay a bonus on Atlas to get it repaired faster. That's the idea, the current idea, I guess. So
Yeah, but
maybe,
in Scream though, no one's going to drag you back, are they? You're just going to respawn in the start.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we need to focus on Scream, right?
No, yeah,
So,
I was talking about
in Scream, what? Someone will drag you back. I thought what they said was you get destroyed, you respawn in the starbase. No one
Yeah.
has to take you back there. It just respawns.
Yeah, I meant in terms of lore, like you'll be back to the spawn base. Yeah, you are correct. And there you need to repair your ship to get back into action. And this might happen organically at a very slow pace, or you can pay Atlas so the repair station focus on your ship and get it back to action faster. And I was wondering, maybe part of this cost of repair might be also dropped as loot as for example, your ship got destroyed over there, so some of the components would be lootable by the winners of the fight. How do you guys feel about this? And this would translate in costs of repair once it's back into the space station.
What was the question again, bro? I missed it.
Yeah, you kind of lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was sorry, guys. I was
No, all good,
wondering.
man. All good. All
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I was wondering. Like when you die on screen, you drop your loot, correct? And you got to repair your ship. And to repair your ship, should there be a fee to do this? And part of this fee would be also dropped on the site of the battle, as a bonus aside from the loot that we were carrying for the winning party. This was my question.
Wait, more importantly, so we're saying you drop all loot on death in Scream?
Like the resources that you are carrying, yes.
Interesting. I think that's more of a subject point we should talk about.
Yeah, this is what I want
in
us
the
to.
medium risk zone.
Yeah, it's the medium risk zone.
Yeah.
Screen is the fight in the medium risk zone, so the resources.
So that's an interesting distinction though, because at least for me, it's the first time I'm hearing that. It in medium risk zone, I was always aware it was partial ship destruction. I did not know it was full loot drop.
Yeah, everything that you are carrying in terms of loot is destroyed. It's dropped. Sorry, it's dropped. And there will be a loss, of course. There will be a burn, but some of it would be lootable.
To be fair, fighting in medium risk zone is could be even more dangerous for people than fighting in high risk zone.
Bear in mind, we're only talking about Scream, right? There is no
Yep.
high risk zone.
There's no high risk
Yeah, I
zone.
know. It's only
I
medium
know, but
risk.
what
We're
I'm
only
saying,
discussing-
yeah. But in Scream, it's going to work differently to the UE5 game. In Scream, when you get destroyed in quotes in the medium risk zone, you drop your resources that you're carrying, you respawn in the starbase, and then you can repair. And it's that loot that you drop in the
Yeah,
medium risk zone we're talking
I
about.
got that. I've
Yeah.
got that down.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what I'm asking is, aside from the loot that you are dropping, should there be an extra loot that comes from the ship destroyed, and this loot would be referring to would be equal to the cost of repairing the ships or something like this, as a further improvement of the loot of the winner.
No, but I do think you should get faction marks.
Yeah, LP rewards, right? Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a greedier pirate than bomber. I would say, yeah, the more loot, the better, and faction marks as well, of course.
Yeah, I feel this is a good discussion because we should, if we have if we have this kind of reward, the combat will be more strategic, because it would be worse to lose a battle. You won't if you are Even if you are not carrying loot, there will be a bigger penalty for losing, and it will be better for the attacker, of course, that wins, in terms of rewards. So I was wondering if we should have this double layer
I think
of
it should be a setting,
rewards.
just like we have stances. It'd be like essentially a gambling stance, and in that aspect, I think it would be interesting because I don't think you should punish every single player for the interest of a few to be a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah, maybe.
If it's that severe of a penalty for losing a fight, yeah, I think it should be something that's enabled, right? We have the aggressive stance, and then maybe there's one above that where the risk reward is higher.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool idea. I
So
actually like the stance idea with different like risk and rewards depending on the stance.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man.
okay.
I'm dreaming about hardcore gameplay in screen. It's going to be wild.
Bro, I can't wait, to be honest. Like, I
And
can't
for
wait
me,
to see what faction is the best organized one.
and
Mud,
for me, I think that more hardcore that we have, the better.
For
Because
sure. Yeah.
like this will make people more, they want more to win because it's more rewarding. It's emotionally you get more hyped because this will require more planning, more effort, more
Yeah, man.
dedication.
Yeah, but when
And
it's elected, not when it's forced upon. Because
yeah,
if you
for
ask
sure,
anyone
for
who
sure.
plays Dark Souls, it's not like they fully enjoy their life.
You're absolutely right, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this. Yeah, that's why we have the Atlas Brew, right, to discuss these kinds of things, to learn how the community feel about them, and yeah, for sure, it should be something that the community wants in a
You
manner.
you should be able to adapt your gameplay. Like, you can go full hardcore, you can go less hardcore, just help with a few things. I don't know. It
Yeah.
should be able to find everybody should be able to have like a role depending on how involved they want to be. I would say.
Yeah, like in that the gambling stance, right? Like as you mentioned, Jose. Like say both players have that stance on. Maybe there's like a 20% tax on top of your loss that comes out of your Atlas, purse. Who knows? Like there's just an extra added to it.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. So we have one other question to cover today, which is, how do you feel about your ship getting better as you level up? There was an example which was, this means you can get a commander ship into the game on day one, but it will operate like a low level ship until you level up. I know we discussed this before, Jose, and we were thinking like that shouldn't have to do anything. That shouldn't have anything to do with the ship itself, but with the crew. That
Yeah,
was our
man.
thought.
Yeah, we were discussing this privately, and I think that what should level up overall is the crew members. You know, your crew members will be more experienced, they will be doing their tasks more often, so they will know their business better. You know, they will be more efficient and things like that. I feel that the ship as an X structure is something that shouldn't level up overall, you know. Or maybe we can also think of a way of the you as a player leveling up, and this will allow you to, you know, get you have more hangers and things like that. But the ship to become better the more you play with it. I'm not sure this would be the best way to go, you know. I think I
I think
prefer
it's a
the
Yeah.
crew
horrible
members to
route.
be better.
Yeah, it should be crew. But if you're going to do that for Scream, are we going to have crew for ships in Scream?
Yeah, I
As
don't think in V0, but yeah, on in future iterations, yeah. And they have
yeah,
roles already planned for the crew members in terms of screen gameplay.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yes. So then it as you say, it makes sense for your crew to level up. You might even have different attributes for different ships, so you can train crew to be better on certain things. You know, like stealth or what, or whatever. But yeah, it should be the ships, not it should be the crew, not ships. That's what I think.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with you here, both of you guys. So the reason it shouldn't be the ships is that it would severely disincentivize new players from wanting to buy ships, especially the high end ones, knowing that they're not all equal. And I think that's just across the board for all ships. The reasons it should be the crew is for the reasons Major mentioned. You'd be able to min max different ships based on the efficiency of your crewmates, and that could essentially change the effectiveness of your ship. So if you had a scaling model, right, where let's just use a C11 as an example, because we all know that you're not going to want to penalize the guy who spent 100K on a ship and saying it's worth the same as an air bike, right? But what you can say to him is that the ship has a base efficiency, and when the crew levels up, the efficiency of said ship also increases. Um, and that could go below if you have crew that's less of a certain level, or above if it's of X level. So those would be my thoughts on that, as well as the modules. I think we all know.
I think we agree on that. At least I think the same. Uh, because it will be super discouraging if your Calico Guardian has the same level and it's the same as an airbike, Like you don't want that to happen. Nothing against the airbike, of course.
Skull
But
got offended now.
Yeah, what do you have against the air bike, man?
Squall the airbike king is going to come after me, but it was just an example. Like it should be the crew, in my opinion as well, that should level up and get more effective as you play. So those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, and here I was wondering that we can also make real cool stuff with this dynamic of the crew members gameplay, you know? For example, if you want to upgrade your starbase to a certain level, it requires the work of a certain threshold qualified crew to get the resources that were collected into the next tier of the starbase, you know? So you wouldn't just need the resources, but you would also need specialized workforce for this, you know. Maybe when you are mining certain levels, certain tiers of planets, it would also require crew members that got to that level to do this kind of activity. If you want to explore the deeps of space, you would need scanners that are from certain level to gather all the informations from that particular star system, you know? Crew levels unlocks the skill progression gameplay and allows for very interesting and special gameplay loops that will benefit players that are hardcore on training their crews to do specialized tasks in the game. I feel this would be awesome for us.
True. Any extra thoughts, guys?
Yeah, do we get the crew before screen or on screen? Or when do we get a crew?
I
Yeah,
don't know if,
the
if we Yeah, Jose, you can answer.
Yeah, the first integration of screen won't have crew members, but yeah, for sure, once this is something that matters in terms of gameplay, we all receive it before it can be used in the game, for sure.
Cool,
Well,
cool.
well, tying back to what we were talking about earlier, if we're in a battle and a ship gets destroyed, what happens to the crew members? Are they automatically sent back, or are they just floating off in space with the rest of the ship?
No, I guess my guess is in Scream they go back with the ship.
Yeah,
They probably want the only thing you will lose are the resources.
yeah, man. Otherwise, Bomber and Major Easy would ransom your crew members.
Oh
That would
my
be a
god, they'd have an
problem.
army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I
Okay,
do.
guys.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I just wanted to. We have 5 minutes left, and I know last time there were some updates some people wanted to cover. So if I would like to open the floor. I know Atomic. Not sure if he's here right now, but he asked me for some minutes
Yeah, he's
from the
here.
site. Atomic, do you want to go for it? You told me you had some updates.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Hey, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys letting me do this. Sorry for the beeping. I'm trying to figure out why that's doing that, but I'll try to make this fast. Yeah, for the past 6 months, we've been doing these charity events for our Atlas ships, and they've been starting to do pretty well. The last 2 months, we've raised close to $400 for different charities. Last month, it was the National, no, St. Jude, the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation, and New Story. And before that, it was the Pediatric Cancer Foundation and Save the Children. And we also said if you donated to any of the charities helping with Ukraine, we'd accept that. So, yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that.
We lost you. Push to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah, I think we've lost him because it was breaking up. But so
Yeah.
it's major reason. I donated to one of them. It's they've done a range of different good causes, kind of in different places. It's really easy to sign up. You get a chance to win ships, so you can get kind of something back for your donation, and you're doing some good. So I guess he was just kind of trying to put it out there for people to, if they do
Yeah.
have a few spare dollars to donate. It goes to a good cause, and it's tax claimable in some locations.
Yeah. So I think I'm trying to find one of his tweets actually. But yeah, pretty much how it works is you donate and you can get they have pools where you can get a chip back if they do raffle. You donate and I think you have to post a proof or something. I'm not sure how it works, and
Yeah,
you
you
can get a
post.
ship back
Yeah,
from.
you basically the charities they select are ones that take crypto donations, and when you donate, you get a proof of donation, and you submit that, and then you get entered in the raffle, as well as having donated to a good cause.
Awesome. It's a great initiative. So yeah, guys, go check it out. I posted a tweet, and I'm sure you can DM them there on Twitter or wherever you want. So you can get in touch and probably Atomic can explain you better than I. But we lost him right now, so that's sad. So DM them on Twitter. I just posted the link of one of their tweets. So DM site there. And if you want to collaborate, I think it's a great initiative. So awesome that we were able to give them some time today, but too bad we lost him. So I would like to open the floor for anyone else who may have some updates. Archetype, I see you typing. I don't want to call you out of the blue, but I love the one of the initiatives that is the Atlas Grace .sol. That's a great initiative. Maybe we can give you more time and share it later. So yeah, again, opening the floor for anyone to share updates if you have any. If not, we can close. All right. I think we're chilling. Let's organize the archetype, which is Dominic just posted the link to the Atlas Grace initiative. If you guys want to take a look, and yeah, archetype, let's cover it on another brew. Let's organize that better. So I guess nobody else has any updates. Appreciate you guys for all the comments. We'll be taking notes and sharing the notes in the Atlas Brew chat for everyone to check them later, and then we will send everything to the Scream team. So, any closing thoughts, Jose?
No, Santi, I think this was a really good brew, as it was last week, and I'm sure that there will be lots more tutorial craft about Scream. And yeah, I want to do this again. There are lots of things to cover still.
For sure. I love that how responsive the Scream team and the Stratos team is as well, because I think it's super valuable for us to collect the questions they want to brainstorm about, and then send them kind of like the results and the conversation. So it's a way for your voice to be heard, guys, and that's kind of like the intention of the brew as well, getting the community closer to the Stratless team. So, Dom, any closing thoughts, my man?
No closing thoughts. Today was great. I really enjoy these conversations, and I think they're super productive. As always, we'll send the notes to the Atlas Brew channel probably later tonight. We'll also send these notes to Chipto and everyone else who needs to know this. I know some of them even join these brews and listen. So everything you guys say really means something, and people are actually listening, and it could make it into the game. So I really appreciate everyone participating today. It was great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, exactly. We want to be very clear that this is shared with the team, and the team is hearing this. So we love you guys. Thank you for all the feedback, and hopefully you find the conversation entertaining. It was super productive. So we're closing here. Feel free to stay in the voice chat if you want to continue chatting. But I appreciate you all being here today with us, guys. And yeah, power to the people.
And stick to the man. See you guys. Bye
See you
bye.
guys. Thank you so
Hey,
much for
everybody.
joining.